welcome back to the Alphaville podcast, where we talk about the songs on the upcoming album called Eternally Yours. In this episode, episode 9, we will talk about the big song,
Forever Young.
Forever Young. So, what does Forever Young mean to you? What do you think of when you hear that song?
Well, it's a real exception. It's it differs very much from any other song that we ever have written because of this phenomenal success. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, we can't get around this phenomenon. I think we keep it just in. But just to say to the listener, we tried many takes, to
say the word phenomenon.
To say the word phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Or whatever, So
there's no way around it.
There's no way around it. When you're talking about Forever Young, you need the word phenomenon, and that's what Forever Young is. It's a real phenomenon. Sometimes I have even the feeling that we have never written the song actually, because it's such it has a life on its own, but in fact we have, and we are all very happy about that. And when I was thinking about the set list for the album, when we play live, it's always the last song of the main set. I said, okay, when I'm doing this album now, Forever Young will not be the last song on the album, because we did that for years and years and years. There must be another place. For instance, on our first album where the song was released for the first time, it is, I think, number 6 or number 7. And so I planned it to put somewhere in the last third of the album. But once you play Forever Young, it's very hard to play any other song after it.
The show's over.
Well, for instance, we do encores when we play live, but there's a break. Then we play Forever Young, then we leave the stage. Then people clapping. We're coming back, and then it's like doing another concert. We're playing then the encore, like 2, 3, 4 additional songs. That's fine, but on an album now, to put Forever Young somewhere in between all the other songs would be a big mistake, actually, because it wouldn't work. So I tried very hard, but there was no other way than putting Forever Young in the set list as the last song. And I think that explains the speciality of this song. It's an otherworldly song. Everybody who writes a song like that is a blessed person. So Alphaville consists out of blessed persons. And thank you for this song, whoever made me doing it.
Thank you for this song. Do you really want to live forever?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like there's something good about getting older?
No.
Okay. What do you miss most about your youth?
Energy. And the fact that I did not know very much about the world, that a lot of things impressed me at the time that do not impress me anymore very much. It's but there's still a lot of things left that still impress me, and I think it's still worth living a life as an old person, but I would prefer living a life as a young person, definitely.
And what would you say to your 30-year-old self or 20-year-old self?
To do some things differently, and the rest of it exactly like I did.
Forever Young has been covered so often. I remember when I was a huge fan of One Direction, and I found out that One Direction sang Forever Young. I was like, oh my God, One Direction sang the song of my dad. And I was like nearly crying about it. Or also, I was, for example, at of course, the concert of Beyonce and Jay-Z in Berlin, and with my sister Noah, and we were in the crowd, and I mean the stadium fits, I think, 70,000 people. I don't know how many people were in the stadium at that time, but it was a lot. It was an ocean of people. And then when it got darker, everyone pulled out their phone nowadays, not a lighter anymore, with the spotlight on, and then with the flashlight on. And then Beyonce stood on the stage and sang Forever Young, and everyone sang Forever Young with her, and we were just like standing there in the crowd, and we just thought, wow, this is all because of our dad. And I mean, that's a feeling you can't describe. It's just overwhelming. It was amazing, and having all those huge artists cover your songs, which also means that they like the song and that they appreciate it and that they want to sing it for themselves. How do you feel about that?
I think I take it as a great compliment for me and for the band. And but I think I'm pretty much grounded, you know. So yeah, it's nice that people appreciate that song, and it's a great honor, you know, that we can play as the original artist can play this song to an audience. Um, yeah, I mean, I love this song very much. Actually, I think it's a very beautiful song. It has a great lyric, and it's actually not about living forever. It's about the unfulfilled dreams in all of us, and and the biggest dream is the eternal life. You know, because this is again, you know, what we do not understand the reason of non-existence, and it's like as if there was another color that nobody can see. You know, we can't see the ultraviolet or the infrared. We don't know what kind of color that is, and so we have no knowledge about life after death and all these big questions in our life. You know, and that is what Forever Young is all about.
Because many people say that it's about the Cold War.
It is also about the Cold War because the Cold War was also a question of life and death at the time. You know, but it is much. It's targeting a much bigger subject, you know, which where the Cold War is just a really little particle of, and and these are all the big questions. I mean, the interesting thing about Forever Young is also that people play it on weddings, they play it on funerals, they play it on birthdays, they play it on any kind of occasions, and it always seems to fit, you know, because on any special occasion, you know, the song fits because it says something about it. It has it has the capacity to say, not straight by the lyrics, not straight by the music, but in its full existence, you know, it has the capacity to make an announcement about the situation, you know, may it be a birthday or a funeral or a wedding or whatever, you know, and the and this is what the song can do, which makes the song so special.
So bring people together also.
Yeah, and giving them in a way, giving them an answer, not on an intellectual way, but you know, a feeling, you know, that yeah, there is a reason behind anything, you know.
I just know I mean, I understand it because you've been listening to your songs for like 40 years now, nearly. But I know when we're driving the car and and the song comes on.
Wait, you're listening to songs like since 40 years?
You.
Oh, I'm
You.
sorry.
Yes, I am 40. No, but when we're like in the car together and I turn on the radio, and it happens quite a lot that the song of you comes on, because I always listen to like Spreeradio or Radio Paradiso. And you hate it. You hate it, and then you say, turn it off. Ugh, I can't hear it. What about that? Like, you can't hear your music anymore. You don't want to listen to your music anymore, or what is it that makes you feel so, I would say, uncomfortable or fed up, maybe?
No, I'm not fed up with it. It's just normally when we're releasing an album, or we're working on an album, we're writing the album, we're recording the album, then we're mixing the album. When the album is ready for release or released, it's every song on the album I heard like about 1,000 times, and I just put it, apart from the fact that there are singles and they then starting playing the singles on the radio. I haven't. I do not listen to this album anymore because I'm already on my way to the next one, and it was quite interesting that when we did this remastered version of the first 3 albums, it was the first time that since 40 or 35 years, that I heard some of the songs again. And it was really a very nice moment, because they were really great songs. And I was able to understand that because there was such a long time that I did not listen to them.
Yeah.
And when I hear songs, other songs on the radio, it's not that I don't like it. It's just it's not the right moment, because it's such a personal thing for me to listen to my own stuff, and it immediately becomes very important. So when I'm listening to other people's music on the radio, it's just like a kind of background thing, a kind of tapestry. While when I'm driving or so, not when I'm at home and listening really carefully to the music, but when I'm just in a regular day-by-day situation. But as soon as an Alphaville song appears on the radio, it's just like wham, right in the face, and it just throws me out of my routines and everything.
I understand that.
That's what I do not like about it, So I immediately change the station and return to, to this other mind state.
Confronts you with your life, like poof. That's
no,
you.
it's not confronting me with my life. It's just it's another mindset, complete other mindset. I'm immediately in the studio, but I'm on the motorway with 160
on a business
whatever,
level.
and I'm not in the studio, and it's just it's very irritating in a way.
I understand that.
I sat behind this piano and started to play a little bit on it, and suddenly I had these chords, and I thought I could probably write a song out of these chords. And that was the moment when Let's Come Home started.